Okay, today is October 9th, and I will check the attendance. Brianna? Okay, so at the end of the class, Brianna will share about the AI service that could help our education. So after I deliver my lecture for an hour, Brianna will have 10 minutes to share about the AI services. So like Brianna, if you want to share something, that could help other students, you'll collect OCB points. So again, what is OCB stands for? Organizational citizenship behavior. Yes. The reason why I repeat this thing several times is OCB is really important for predicting and indicating the current performance. That's why. And this is a behavior we need to motivate each other. Okay. And Marty? Okay, so Nora, Hardeep, Claire, Jacob. Oh, I forgot Julia. Julia, Claire, and Jacob. Is Jacob here? No. And Hunter, Lupe, Alex, Chris, Elizabeth, Daniela. Daniela is not here. Pamela. Pamela is not here. Yoselin. Okay. Preet and Kathy. Sarai. Chris. James. Sabrina. Omar. Emily. We have Emily here. Kennedy. Do you have Kennedy? No. Jazz. Here. Tanya. Brenda. Here. Liz. Yesenia. Here. Leslie. Here. Okay. Julian. Daisy. Cecilia. Charlie. Okay. Erica. Here. Charles. Okay. So please, share with other friends who did not come to today's class that I will share the recording of today's class. So you can find the recording of today's class here. Since this is a really important activity that you need to review for the final exam, you need to review it several times for watching this video, okay? So once we complete this class, I will share the YouTube video over here, okay? All right, so let's open this link to start our activity. All right, so your task is that you need to hire job candidates based on the data that you have collected for your incumbents. So using the data, survey data from your incumbents, you will find the relationship between predictors and the annual performance. So based on the formula, you can calculate the predicted annual performance from your job candidates survey data, even though they hadn't had any experience with you in the current workplace. You can predict their annual performance score based on their numerical reasoning score or other personality measures. So today's component is to find out the relationship between predictors and annual performance of your current employees. So let's start our activity by reading the company overview. Charles, can you please read the first paragraph?
Company overview. You are a part of a hiring committee at Future Tech, an innovative technology firm renowned for its work in the field of artificial intelligence. The company is known for its open, collaborative work culture, cutting edge projects, and its emphasis on continuous development.
Okay, thank you. And Preet, can you please read the second portion?
Future Tech seeks to fill the position of AI project coordinator, whose principal responsibility is to ensure the smooth execution of AI projects from initiation to closure. This role requires ensuring that projects are completed within the defined timeframe, remain within the allocated budget, and meet the expectations of all stakeholders. The incumbent will facilitate inter-team and inter-stakeholder communication, anticipate and elevate project risks, and align the project with the strategic goals of the company.
Thank you. Leslie, can you read the portion of ideal candidate profile?
Ideal candidate. Knowledge, understanding of artificial intelligence, project management methodologies, and software development process. Leadership, ability to lead teams, facilitate communication, and resolve conflicts. Problem solving, capacity to identify and resolve project-related issues provided. Communication, strong written and oral communication skills for coordinating with team members and stakeholders. Organizational skills, ability to manage multiple tasks and deadlines, plan and organize work, and maintain the project.
Thank you. And Chris, can you read the last portion?
As members of the hiring committee, students have to assess and select a suitable candidate for the AI project coordinator role based on data from resumes, interviews, and skills and aptitude tests. They're tasked to use this regression analysis to weigh these factors and predict which candidate is most likely to succeed in. Remember, Future Tech values diversity, inclusivity, and fair hiring practices, as these principles should guide their decision-making process.
Okay, so first step for doing this activity is to investigate the current employees in your organization. So consider you as a HR professionals in your organization working under HR directors. So your task is to find out the best job candidates and then write down who's the best candidates based, and you need to explain about the rationale. And you need to write a draft of the email to your HR director. So that concludes all the activities. So first, let's try to analyze the data, the survey data that we collected from our current employees. So if you please click this data and then download this data into your computer. And then you can open it using your Excel. And if you look at the survey data, you can find out the employee ID number for the first column. Okay. For example, for employee ID 1, their education level is 2, and their years of experience in this organization is 7, and their numerical reasoning, the score was 5.65, and their verbal reasoning is 8.56. And this is the score on their personality. The last class, we discussed about whether using personality score to predict performance, right? So there's some ethical issue around that. But for here, based on the previous literature's research, we will predict annual performance using this big 5 personality measures. Okay. So openness, the score is 8.9 over 10. Conscientiousness, 7 to 3 over 10. Extroversion, 7.6. Agreeableness, 9.24, and neuroticism is 3.96. And the annual performance score is 5.43. So when you look at this data, this is collected from multiple sources. Regarding the education level, years of experiences, this can be collected from your database in your company. In the following weeks, we will do activity related to HRIS. And normally, these information is saved in HRIS system. So we can just simply pull those information to use it. And also, you can see the numerical reasoning and verbal reasoning score. And that is based on the aptitude test. For example, when you go to the instruction, let's go to the appendix. So this is a example questions that asking education level. So if the number increases, it means that it has a higher education. Okay, and this is a sample example that asks years of experience. Kathy, can you please read this question?
How many years of relevant work experience do you have in the field of artificial intelligence or project coordination?
Okay, and these are the example questions that we can measure numerical reasoning and also verbal reasoning. This is just two examples, but there could be multiple questions that measures numerical reasoning score. Okay. And this is a sample example, survey example, measuring each dimension of personality. For openness, Claire, can you please read this question? I can make it larger for you.
For openness?
Yes.
Openness. I enjoy learning about new concepts and I'm comfortable with abstract ideas.
Yes. So people can respond to this question by choosing from 1 to 5. 1 means strongly disagree, and 5 means strongly agree. In this way, we quantify all the characteristics and the capability of our employees. In that way, we can analyze the relationship between predictors and annual performance using regression analysis. So I will make it smaller. And let's go back to the Excel sheet. And regarding the annual performance, who measures this annual performance score? Any idea?
Measure the annual performance?
Yes.
I would say managers.
Managers, correct. Yesenia, here you go. So as you can see, these information is collected from multiple sources. So in this, if you create this data, now we are ready to analyze what is the key predictors for annual performance. Okay. Among these, characteristic, do you have any idea which one is most critical one for predicting annual performance? Any guess before we move on to the analysis?
The use.
Years of experience, yes. This is also an important one. And
Education level.
education level is also important. How about personality? Among 5, which one might be most closely related to annual performance? Openness. Yeah, openness is somewhat related to annual performance, but there's more, critical one. Conscientiousness, right. So previous literature consistently show that conscientiousness predicts annual performance in every area. Yes,
Is it because that personality is more analytical?
analytical, and they're more, visually, look over, some every tasks, even though it's very complex. And conscientious people make less mistakes. And also conscientious people have less, conflict with others because they are more careful on those things when they around the relational dynamic. Okay, but this is just our hunch, but those kind of idea can be differ across, occupations or organizations, so we never know. That's why we need to conduct regression analysis for our own organization. Okay, so the relationship between predictors and annual performance will be different across industry and company, and we need to know this relationship in our organization. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. Okay, so this was an overview of the current data we have and your first download the survey data. So how many of you download the data? Can you raise your hand? Do you need more time? If you need more time, can you please raise your hand? No? Okay. So once you download the data, let's open ChatGPT. So chatgpt.com. And use ChatGPT 4.0. So last year, when I first created this, activity, at the time there was no ChatGPT 4.0. There was only ChatGPT 4. So this is even smarter, model than the one that I, used last year. And then let's put this prompt. Create a descriptive and correlation table conforming to APA style. The table should include mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum value, and correlation of variables. Exclude employee ID. I will attach the APA style format of the table. Type the same prompt. So I will leave this prompt as a comment so that you can simply copy it and paste it to the ChatGPT. Okay. And you can find the APA style table by clicking this example over here. It's on output 1. So if you click this example, you can find sample APA tables. So what you need to do is create a table similar to this, but it should include minimum and maximum value as well. And you need to follow the same format. So the border line on the top, the border line for the second row, and the borderline for the bottom row. And you should not include any borderlines here. And do not use capital, okay? And you need to use italicized text for mean and standard deviation. And if you use acronym, you need to use notes so that the readers can know what this M and SD stands for. So what M stands for?
Mean, average.
Average, right? And how about SD? Standard deviation. There you go. So this is a format that you need to report to your HR director. And I want you to use APA style, okay? And for this format, it is accessible by clicking this website. So please bookmark this website, okay? And Brianna, when you conduct, and Brianna and Leslie, when you conduct a student research with me, you will need to ensure this format, okay? So please bookmark this website. This is very important. And yes, yeah, this one, this website. This link is over here. Yes. Click on this website. Okay. And your task is to create this table using Excel sheet. But we are all busy, right? And we want ChatGPT to, create this table with the appropriate format. So what I will do is screen capture this whole table, okay? And before I paste it, and then copy to the ChatGPT, okay? And then simply type all the prompts. I have already typed this prompt in the comment over here. So you can just simply copy it, okay? Yes,
I can't see the comments.
the comment.
Yeah.
How many of you can see the comments over here? Yes, Jess?
Bottom, so like right after it's where you have that image,
Mhm.
it's like under that, that's where you type it, wasn't it?
Okay, so if you cannot see the comment, I will just share it underneath. Okay, the prompt.
Yeah.
How about this? Liz,
Okay.
can you find it? This one?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
No problem. So let's read it again. Create a descriptive and correlation table conforming APA style. The table should include mean, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum value, and correlation of variables. I will attach APA style format for the table. And I also said exclude employee ID. So employee ID is this one, right? Why did I say exclude employee ID?
Anonymity.
That's a good try, but are there any others? Why I exclude employee ID in the correlation table?
There's nothing to rate.
What's that?
The different type of data.
Different type of data. Yeah, and
You don't need to rate that.
right. So actually, employee ID is important information, but it's not related to annual performance, right? Right. So we have, we have jazz in our class, but does that unique ID, which is name, is related to annual performance? No, not at all, right? That's why we exclude employee ID. Okay. But employee ID is important because since we collect, this type of survey every year, we can match certain employees, information year to year. In that way, we can, track the annual performance across years. That's why we need employee ID for this data. Yes.
Where it says I will attach the APA style format table, what are we attaching?
You're attaching, yeah,
We're
that's a good
attaching the
question.
Excel.
You're attaching the screen capture of this one, this APA style table. And then we need to attach another one. What is it? Excel sheet, the data, right? If you don't provide any data, then ChatGPT will answer some type of story, okay? So we need to attach it. Regarding that, so this is the file that I have downloaded. So I'll use Control C if you have a window, and if you have Mac, Command C. Since I have Mac, I will use Command C. And let's go back to the ChatGPT and I'll copy it.
Do I still attach the picture even though it's blurry?
It would be great if, ChatGPT is like a human. So when you, ask work, you need to provide the better quality picture, right?
Oh, okay,
It should be like that down.
okay.
When I go to
Thank you, Yesenia.
budget.
So this task is really important and it needs your, help. So please, talk with each other. Okay, and work as a team study group with your team members. And if there's any person who help you, please email me. I'll give you an OCB point for that, okay? And Yesenia, please email me, okay? Okay. So now I have attached the correlation table, screen capture of the correlation table. And this shows the format of APA style, okay? And I have attached the data, right? And then I have put the prompt. Are you guys ready to see the output? Yes.
For the data on the Excel sheet
Mhm.
that was downloaded, you said for the employee ID to not use it, right?
Yes. So
So we can hide that.
instead of deleting the the column, you can just simply say exclude employee ID.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, ChatGPT is smart enough to catch those requests.
As they did it. Perfect.
Yes.
For some reason, it's not showing on my downloaded. But
It's not showing on her downloaded file.
it's not showing on my downloaded file.
You mean the over here?
Now I've downloaded it twice, and when I hit the attach,
Uh-huh.
it's not displayed on here.
Okay, you are using Chrome, right?
If you go down here to the Excel, it shows that it's downloaded.
I just got it.
Here, right? You click this folder icon. You can open the exact folder. Copy. Copy. And then let's go to ChatGPT. And let's keep running. And just let's drag it around. Unsupported file type. Maybe this.
Let's see when I go to download. It's not there.
Download. Let's open your file, save as CC, and Oh, yeah. No. It's already there.
Oh, you can do it.
No. Oh, yeah, you forgot. Okay.
But I am tomorrow. Yeah.
Download.
It might just be the chat GPT, but I haven't had issues with it.
Yeah, I think it's because of the,
She happened. That's what I'm saying.
shiny and clean. That's what that is. You need to click.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's off, yeah, maybe the issue, the third. Yes.
Just the right way.
I just hear that.
Oh, so.
No, that's.
So weird. I wonder let's see. I never think anything of that. I wonder if it'll be use it.
Do you have any questions? Are you all okay with, screen capturing the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. What the hell? Okay, and there's something else, right?
All right, so let's view it again. So I have attached the APA style format table, right? But you should not use this blurry table over here. Okay, this is just an example. So click this APA style. And then here you need to find APA style correlation table. And you need to extend the website so that you can capture a more clear image and then screen capture this one. And if you have Windows, use snipping tool, okay?
Right click and I press copy and then it let me know.
Okay, are you using the window?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let me do that.
Mhm.
I'll wait till-
Okay, so I think all are good now.
She's having a little bit of a hard time.
And now are you guys ready to see the outcome? Okay, let's see. As you can see, it's analyzing. If you click it, you can see that it is using Python to analyze the data. So if you simply copy these codes, then you are generally basically doing the same thing, conducting a correlation analysis. Okay, so let's download this file.
Professor, mine didn't come up as a file. It just came up like as an image.
In that case, it's not an image, it's a table. But in that case, you can always ask, I would like to download into Excel file. So ChatGPT is not like a machine. The response varies a lot. So if you didn't receive this type of correlation table, then type a prompt that I want to download with an Excel file. Then it will provide the Excel file.
Mine says convert or do
But I
not
didn't
convert.
do that.
It's not convert.
Convert these numbers into scientific notation, doesn't matter though.
Yeah, I copy and pasted it. I can figure it out like.
All right. So now your task is to create a table that confirms APA style. So APA style can be found in this table. So I'll just screen capture this. And paste it here. And what you need to do is, creating the same format of the table. For example, instead of education level, I'll put 1 point education level. Instead of years of experience, 2 point experiences year. Numerical reasoning. It should be all. You should not use a capital letter. Verbal reasoning, and so on. So you need to follow all the format. You need to follow the format of APA style. Okay. And since it has only report up to 2 decimal point, what you can do is drag all the cells and then click mouse right button, and then here click format cells, and over here click custom and type 0.00. And this way you can use the same format. Mouse right and click format cells and click custom, and then type 0.00. And as you can see, the upper diagonal is missing, but in our correlation table, it's all filled with the number. Since this is a duplicate information, like 0.08, 0.08, 0.45, 0.45, it's just repeating. So what you can do is delete all the repeated number. Like this.
It should also include the descriptive inside the correlation Excel sheet.
Here you can find the descriptive statistics, so mean, standard deviation,
Yes.
and mean and max. So in this table, you can see the average level of each variables and the variation, and also mean and max of each variable. And here's my questions. What does this stands for? 0.21. What does this mean?
Only 1 year's
This one.
experience.
So this is a correlation, which indicates a correlation relationship between two variables, and it shows the directionality and also strength of the relationship. And this correlation varies between -1 to 1. So 1 means strong relationship and 0 means weak relationship. And this means the relationship between here, years of experience and numerical reasoning. So up to this column, it's all about mean, standard deviation, and mean max of each variable. But beyond this column, it's all about the relationship between two variables. So Chris, can you find the relationship between verbal reasoning and openness? Here, verbal reasoning and openness.
Yeah. Mine says
What's that?
0.31.
Let's see. Yes, 0.31. It shows the relationship between openness and here verbal reasoning. This is how you interpret this table. Okay. Any questions so far? So after you create this, table based on ChatGPT, now you need to manually create this table conforming APA style, and you will need to attach to the email later. Yes, Chris?
I was just to say the number dictates what the relationship is, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So these are the relationship.
gotcha.
Okay. And next, since we have create the correlation table, for the correlation table, I will show it quite quickly, and it will be quick because I'm very familiar with it. But please, watch the video how I do it. Min, max, and here I need to put 5-point openness, 6-point conscientiousness, 7-point extraversion, 8-point agreeableness, 9-point neuroticism, and here 10-point annual performance. And here, instead of education level, I'll put 1 here. Instead of years of experience, I'll put 2. And if I click this right bottom edge, I can drag. And here, view, I want to hide all the grid line. And here I will use Times New Roman. And I will need to put the borderline. So top and bottom. And here, bottom. And I will need to make the same width across the table. And here again, same. Yes. So this is the complete version of APA style correlation table. Okay. So ChatGPT does not do all the work for you. For the final report, you need to do it by yourself. Okay. James, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. I have recorded this lecture, so you need to review it again. Okay. Next. So that was the first output. Drawing upon the information in the descriptive and correlation table, which is this one, provide a comprehensive overview that encapsulates the typical attributes of 200 AI projects coordinators within your organization. Just simply copy this, okay, and put it in the ChatGPT. Since ChatGPT knows about the descriptive statistics and correlation table, it will explain about the relationships. Okay, so based on this, you can understand the characteristic of your current employees, and also based on this description, you can explain to your colleagues and also your boss. Regarding the correlation, it says education level correlates positively with numerical reasoning. Okay, and if you have a questions, you can always ask. Like, if you want to know the strength of the 0.45, is R 0.45, R means correlation, is strong or weak. And always, ChatGPT will explain the information based on your questions. Okay, so it's the best assistant for us. Next one, output 3. Run a regression analysis using the data you have downloaded. Okay, since we already uploaded the data, we don't need to upload again. Independent and dependent variables are listed below. Independent means predictors, and dependent variables means outcome variables. So what is the outcome variables in this activity? What predicts which variable? So our task is to predict annual performance, right? So annual performance is considered as an outcome variable. And all the other variables, including Big Five, personality, and numerical reasoning or education level, is considered as a predictors. Okay. And we will need to know the statistics like R square, F statistics, and 95% confidence interval for coefficient. And I know you're not familiar with this, statistics, but this is important. So that's why I'm providing the prompt for you. So copy whole questions and then put it into ChatGPT. And after ChatGPT generates the response, you can ask, what does R square means? What is F statistics? Okay. Let's wait. So this is a regression table, and regression table shows how these variables predicts annual performance. And it shows R square and F statistics. Okay. And once you create a regression table, you will need to create a regression table that conforms APA style. Again, let's click this website. And if you scroll down, you could see a regression table over here. Um, where is it?
I think it's towards the top, regression table overview.
Over here. Thank you. I think that. over here. So click this sample APA regression table. And here you can find the sample regression table. Okay. So what you can do is simply screen capture this table. I'll move this. Put it into ChatGPT. Use this prompt. Drawing upon the regression results, report the regression table conforming to APA style. I have attached the APA style regression table. Create notes as well. So simply copy this prompt and put it in the ChatGPT. And here, I've also attached the APA style regression table as well.
Can you show us how the table looks like?
Table, when you click this link in output 3, yes. And you can find the regression table like this, and you can simply screen capture this and put it in the ChatGPT. And type enter. So it will regenerate the regression table, which conforms APA style. And what you can do is simply copy and paste this table to Excel sheet to create a regression table that conforms APA style. Okay. And then what you need to do is output 4. Report the regression equation derived from the analysis based on the table above. If a coefficient's p-value exceeds 0.05, treat the coefficient as 0. You may use ChatGPT 4.0 to assist in interpreting the results. So let's go back to the ChatGPT. Are you familiar with p-value? Yes. So 0.05 is the cutoff point. Okay. So if the p-value is larger than 0.05, it means bad. Okay. Let's simply interpret like that. So in that case, if as education levels p-value is 0.878, we will consider this coefficient as 0. We will just consider that education level does not related to the annual performance. All right. So that's why in the ChatGPT, where's ChatGPT? Yes, that's why we say if a coefficient's p-value exceeds 0.05, treat that coefficient as 0. It means that predictor does not work to predict annual performance. So simply copy this output and put it in the ChatGPT. All right. So this is a regression equation. So let's view this. And this is a very valuable formula to predict annual performance. It means that even though we did not measure annual performance of our job candidates, we can predict annual performance. If we measure their years of experience, numerical reasoning, verbal reasoning, openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Okay. So without measuring annual performance, we can predict their score on annual performance with these information. So if you have a score on these things, we can simply calculate the performance. In that way, we will hire our job candidates based on the number. So output 4 is to report the regression equation. So this is the regression equations. Okay. And let's move on to output 5. Using the regression equation above, calculate the predicted annual performance from the survey data. Create 2 additional columns in the Excel sheet containing survey data. First one is predicted annual performance and the difference between actual and predicted annual performance. So let's briefly, let's copy this equation formula. And then let's go back to the Excel sheet, the employees data Excel sheet. And here what we'll do is I'll copy an additional row here and put the equation. Here what we'll do is create additional column. So in the instruction, we need to create predicted annual performance. So here I will put predicted annual performance. And in the next column, I will put the difference between actual and predicted annual performance. Okay. So even though we have annual performance here, we can calculate the predicted annual performance using these scores, right? So let's calculate predicted annual performance, which is equal 6.33 plus 0.05 times years of experience plus 0.65 times numerical reasoning plus here 0.37 times verbal reasoning plus 0.59 times openness minus 0.25 times means asterisk, right? Conscientiousness minus 0.73 times extraversion minus 0.34 times agreeableness minus 0.62 times neuroticism. And we don't need annual performance here, right? So using these survey data, we can predict their annual performance. Okay. So do I need to put those tedious formula here? Not at all, right? What I can do is just copy and paste or drag or just double click the bottom edge. And it will just fill up to the end of the row. Okay. And now we have calculate the predicted annual performance. And let's compare whether this predicted performance is close to real performance. Okay, so equal the real one minus the predicted one. Okay, so it has some error, right? Of course, since this is a predicted, performance, but it predicts quite a, it predict in a good way, right? Under 1. And let's double click. And actually we can, see the performance of this equation by averaging this difference between the actual and predicted annual performance. So let's see the average. So when you look at the average, the error between our predicted and annual performance, the average error was only 0.02. Okay, so that means that once we use this regression equation, we can actually predict our job candidates' annual performance without having multiple years of experiences with them. Okay, any question? All right. Let's move on to the next one. Using the regression equation, create a line chart where the y-axis represents the annual performance and the x-axis represents the numerical reasoning. Assume that all variables are held constant at their average values, except for numerical reasoning. Use the minimum and maximum values of numerical reasoning for the x-axis range. The color of the graph should be black. Not all companies use color printer, right? That's why I put this one. So copy and paste it into ChatGPT and type enter. So this is the prompt that draws the beautiful graph for you in a second. So this shows the relationship between numerical reasoning and annual performance. But there's an assumption that other predictors are, are the same, are constant. So as numerical reasoning increases, annual performance increase with this range. So by looking at the slope in the relationship between the variables, we can see that which predictor is most, critical one for predicting annual performance. And that concludes our step 1 activity. And for the next class, we will actually predict the, annual performance score for our job candidate survey data. Okay, so when you look at the job candidate survey data, they don't have annual performance score. Do you know why? No? Don't know? Since they are job candidates, we don't have any experience with them, right? And that's why we cannot measure their annual performance. But with the regression equation, we can create a column that shows predicted annual performance, right? And based on that, we'll choose the top 5 job candidates who has the highest, predicted performance. In this way, you can, choose the right people based on your current data of your incumbents. I know you have many questions, but if you follow my recording, then I bet all of you will follow this activity. Okay. All right, and it's time for Brianna to explain about the AI service.